Piano-Play-It.com.
Hi, welcome back to another free piano lesson by Piano-Play-It.com. This is David here, and today we're going to talk about the secondary dominants. What do I mean when I say secondary dominants? Okay, in the previous piano lessons we talked about the tonic, which is the resting point in a scale from an harmonic point of view. So it's the first degree and it's the first chord in a piece and the last one. And we talked then about the dominant, the most tensed point in every song. And we said that the dominant is so tense because it leads to the tonic. Today we're going to talk about how to create dominant chords, okay, to other scale degrees in a scale. So not to the tonic, because we already know that the fifth degree is the dominant of each tonic in a scale, but we are going to find other dominants to other scale degrees. That's what the lesson is all about. So let's start understanding how it works. Okay, so a little review. We have the major scale, and the first chord degree, so we take the root note and upon it we add thirds. Then we get the tonic, which is the most relaxed point in the scale and the chord which all the other chords go to. This is the relaxed point in the scale. And then we have the dominant chord. What does a dominant chord has to have in order to lead to the tonic so clearly? Well, it has to be the fifth of a chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will probably be the chord that is based upon G in a C major scale. We build thirds. Okay, so G major is the fifth degree of C major. I now play it in the second chord inversion to make things more clear qua voice leadings. Okay, so you see the B note, which is the leading note in a C major scale, the seventh note in a C major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It leads to the tonic within a semitone. And that's why, because this note is so tense, it is the most tensed note in the scale. That's why G major is so naturally becoming the dominant to a C major scale. So a dominant chord has to have a few conditions in order to be a dominant chord. It has to be a fifth above the note we want to go to. So if we are looking for the dominant of C major, we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then build a major scale, okay? And then we have to add the seventh note. Okay, why do we add the seventh note? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it is the seventh note within a C major scale that has only the white keys. Because the seventh note, F, okay, which is the fourth note in a C major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, leads to E within a semitone as well, but this time it goes down while the B goes up. These two notes lead within a semitone to the notes of the tonic, which are the most relaxed notes in a scale. So three conditions in order to create a dominant chord. 1, it has to be a fifth above the note we're looking for, so G. Then it has to be a major scale, and it has to be a seventh chord. Alright, now we're going to use these three conditions to create secondary dominant chords to other scale degrees. So for example, this time I'm going to take D minor, which is the second degree, and I'm going to look for a dominant to that chord. Okay, so if I'm going a fifth up, which is the first condition you have to create a dominant chord to a certain chord, we go 5 notes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And upon this chord we have to build chords in the scale. So I skip this one, I go to this one, I skip this one, and I go to this one. I created an A minor scale, which is the natural chord degree of the scale. But too bad it's a minor chord, and we said that the second condition to creating a dominant chord has to be that it's a major chord. So what I'm going to do is change the C to C sharp. And now I have an A major chord, which is already halfway to becoming the dominant to D minor. Okay, So now the only thing I have to add is the 7th note. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3 or 3. Think of it how you want. 4, 5, 6, 7. G is the 7th note of an A major. So, and the other way to find the 7th chord is just doubling the root above and go a tone lower. So now we created an A major 7th chord, which means A7th is the secondary dominant to D minor. Okay, this is the 2nd degree of a C major scale, and this is the 2nd inversion. Okay, why is it called the secondary dominant? Well, that's pretty easy. Because C sharp, right, does not exist on a C major scale, which contains only the wide keys. So we have to think where it is deriving from. Which scale has C sharp in it? Okay, and the natural answer to that is that if we took the 5th of D, this time we took D minor, but the natural 5th of D major is indeed A7th. Okay? D major has both F sharp and C sharp. So the A7th is taken from D major. So we are borrowing the dominant of a D major scale in order to create a dominant to D minor, which is the 2nd degree of a C major scale. We're going to do the same, for example, with the 3rd degree. The 3rd degree of a C major, 1, 2, 3, it's E minor, right? Now let's create the dominant, the secondary dominant to E minor. So we have to go 5 notes up within the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the chord which we have to build upon B in 3rd is this chord, which is a diminished chord. Okay, but we know that a dominant chord has to be a major chord. So this time we're going to raise both the 3rd and the 5th to creating a B chord. Okay? Now the only thing we have to do is find the 7th note of the chord. So I'm doubling the root and I go a tone lower. And B7th is the secondary dominant of E minor. Okay, where is this chord taken from? From E major, because B7th is the natural dominant in an E major scale, which has 4 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. And that's where both these notes derive from. Okay, so I'm quitting this piano lesson in here, but if you want to know more about the secondary dominant, all you have to do is click on the link on the right or below, depends on where you're watching, and this link will direct you to the specific page of secondary dominants in Piano-Play-It.com with the full piano tutorial and excellent written explanations and some examples and PDF you can print and download that will help you to print and understand this topic better. Piano-Play-It.com